Hello everyone and welcome back to Coloring with Haley. Today I have a completed book flip through for you. What is this? My fifth, maybe sixth book I've completed on the channel. This is Sci-Fi Babes, a cyber glam coloring book by Stephanie A. Quinn. It has 30 pages and it was one of my 10 books to finish last year and I didn't quite make it. I had, I think, 4 pages left and I did manage to finish them up this year, although like at the very end of the year I had just sort of colored myself out with it and it took me a while to get back to it and want to color in it again. But this is a fantastic book. I really like this artist's artwork. I love their portraits and their weird characters. We'll go ahead and get into it. Now I will say that each character has a name and a little bit of information about them, and I will read that to you if you are interested. Alright, so this book just kind of gets you right into it. You get a test page and then boom, it goes right into it. And that page is a little bit falling out, but that'll be okay. So the very first girl here is Mira Mercury, who's 28. She lives on a spaceship and loves watching TV. She has like an ice cream cone thing going on here with her glasses. So yeah, I just kind of made her strawberry ice cream. For most of these pages, the skin was done with Copic markers and the rest of it was done with whatever markers I could find at the time. So she does have a lot of glitter on her. It's on her little antennas, and a lot of these have this kind of a goop on their face with these little, I don't know, I call them like cyberkinetic lines running down them. And I do those in glitter whenever I see them because I didn't really know what else to do with them. And then she does have some paint accents. Next up is Gamble. This was one of the first pages I ever colored on this channel for a color and chat. It's a very ancient video that does not have nearly as good lighting, but you can go back and watch that. She is 18 and is awaiting trial in court for candy theft, and she speaks 10 languages. She was just a really fun and kooky looking character, so I did a lot of very bright neon colors for her, and she has just a little bit of glitter on her jewelry there. And again, some white accents. Next up we have Rachel Robot, who's 3 computer years, or otherwise 33 on Earth. She lives in the internet, and she has a really good memory. This is a really fun one to do. Again, you can see those like cyberkinetic lines that I've done up with glitter. I really like how this one turned out a lot. She looks fantastic, and I did her in a bunch of greens and blues because she lives in the internet. That's what color the internet is in my head. I don't really know why it's green, but to me, the internet is green. So lots of paint highlights on her lips there and on the VR headset that she's wearing. Next up, we have Sally Space, who looked like Billie Eilish to me, so that's how I colored her. She is 32 and she's voluntarily living out of her car, and she's the sister to Rachel Robot, who I just showed you. This book was published like before Billie Eilish, you know, became popular, but this still looked exactly like Billie Eilish to me, so I did color her like Billie Eilish with, you know, the black and the green hair, and I did her lips black and green too. She has some highlights on her as well as a little bit of glitter. She had like some goo coming out of her glasses there, and so I did that glittery. Really like how this page turned out. Next up, we have Mistress Misanthrope. She is 173. She lives in a black hole, and she tries to see the whole world. So she's got this kind of very interesting looking, maybe they're binoculars since she's trying to see the whole world. I don't know. She had a very interesting look to her, and so I went in like kind of a classic 50s blonde with the red lipstick, and she's got glitter on her. It is her fingernails there. She's got like the French tips, but I've done them with glitter, and same with her earring and the lines on her face. And she looked like to me that she's wearing a mask, so I kept it as like a stark white mask. Next we have Officer Laserbeam, who is 29 and under patrol on the Asteroid Belt headquarters, and she's a police officer in space. So I had to do red and blue because police sirens, right? That's the colors I think of. So she had this whole funky design going on down here around her neck, and I did that all in glitter. And then she's got the accents there on her little like visor and on her lips and on these lights. I'm saying that these are the red lights down here on her hair. Next is Cheryl Scream. She's 30 and she lives on Earth, but she likes brain massages. This was a really interesting looking character, and this one was really fun to color. I really like her giant eyeballs that are being like magnified through these goggles that she's wearing. And I gave her gray hair, and I think it turned out really, really well. But this one, yeah, she's got a lot of highlights in white on these like big, huge goggles. And I don't actually think, well, no, I'm wrong. Her nose ring is glittery, but that's about it on this one. Next up, we have Kelly Cosmos. She's 21, lives inside the moon, and likes electronic music. You can see that she's wearing some big headphones here. Did a purple color scheme for her, and her glitter is in her glasses there. This one was a more simplistic, straightforward one, not a lot to say about it. We had Tiana Tentacle. She's 125 years old. She lives on an unnamed water planet, and she was immortal, but was born recently. So I guess if you're immortal, 125 years isn't really that long. But I really like how this one turned out. I always gravitate towards purple colors for tentacles, and I'm not sure why. And of course, I'm a big fan of the purple and green color scheme. So she is purple and green. She's got these tentacles coming out of her face. And of course she has glitter on, again, those like cyber techie lines that are going down her face. We have Kitty Midnight. She's 18 Earth years old, by the way. She lives on a planet society and inhabited by cats. Oh, she lives on a planet inhabited by cats. Okay. I don't know why that one was so hard for me to read. She likes cats. She doesn't know how she got there, though. Okay, well, clearly she's a big fan of them because she's named herself Kitty Midnight, and she's got a lot of cat stuff going on here. I really like how this one turned out. I did the pink and blue theme based around what colors of glitter pens I had because I wanted to do these little cats on her face glittery, and you can see that they are. And so I picked blue and pink, and it actually turned out really, really well. There is a lot of highlights, especially for her black visor, maybe VR headset here, not quite sure what you want to call that, but she does have her cute little cat earphones on and her cat earrings, and she's even wearing like a collar. This is Harmony Heart. She is 26. She lives in the Alpha Centauri system and is a famous space performer, so I made her kind of like a pop star, like a Nicki Minaj, Rihanna-esque pop star. And of course I did Valentine's themes for her because she was already covered in all of these hearts. So lots of pinks and reds, and I think she turned out great. Not a lot of highlights on this one, but there is some glitter on all of those hearts in her hair. Then we have Olga Orion. She's 35 on Earth, but that makes her 450 as a robot. She is in hiding, and she started off as a robot but turned into a human. She was very interesting looking. I really like her hairstyle. Again, all of these characters are so interestingly designed, and you can kind of just go crazy with how they look. She also gave me a little bit of like a Lady Gaga vibe, so that is why she has the blonde hair. Tons of highlights on this visor here, and then glitter on the tears and on the funky design thing she has going on down there on her neck. This one is Patty Planet. She's 25. She lives on Earth, and she's an optimist. So she is just a human living on Earth, but she still has kind of some of these funky space stuff going on here. You can tell she's got on these huge goggles, which for this one, I can remember I messed something up, so I did the reflection instead of doing white paint. I did it in glitter. You can see that there. And she's got her popsicle here that she's eating. She was fun to do. Lots of pinks on this one. I liked how her fluffy, like poofy, I don't know, jacket collar turned out. Like maybe it's on a coat or something. This is Amy Asteroid. She's 17. She's in math class right now, and her ears are really cold, so she has these earmuffs on. Really love how her hair turned out. This was like a phenomenal color, and I like this big I don't know, like paint splatter across her face. I don't know if she's wearing goggles or if these are just her eyes. A little bit creepy if those are her eyes, but do like how this one turned out. And this one was a more simple one. So just a few highlights for the eyes and these big earmuffs and no glitter on this one. This is another really simple one. This is Melty Meteor. She's 20 and she's currently traveling through space at high speeds and she loves scrambled eggs. I guess I should have made her yellow because she likes scrambled eggs, but something about her, to me, she had to be green. I think it was all of the like slime on her face that just said green. But I did do the buns in her hair green also, and she's got brown hair with the green buns, and don't think there's any glitter on here, and just a few highlights for, again, what is perhaps goggles or her very creepy eyes. Not quite sure. This is Atomic Ashley. She's 108 in robot years. She's living on the planet of storms and she loves a rainy day. So that inspired my color scheme for this one. Sometimes reading those gave me an idea. Sometimes I already had an idea for the page. But yes, for this one had to do dark blues and grays since she lives on a storm planet. And I did her hair in 2 different colors there. And I used a lot of glitter because she has those cyberkinetic lines going on, and a lot of highlights too for like her robotic body and her lips and this little, ooh, I don't know what it is. It's kind of almost like a telescope coming out of her face there. This one, her lips, I really like the dark blue for her lips. That turned out really well. This is Lucy Laser. She's 19. She lives on campus at Space University and she sleeps only an hour a day. For some reason, I did her like she was wearing 3D glasses. I don't know why. Just thought, yeah, okay, 3D glasses, like she's going to the movies. But she does have her little laser here, and it is a little red glittery laser. You can see that there. Some highlights on all of this tech here that she's wearing, and a little bit on her lips, and some more glitter down there on her jewelry. She was another one that was a little bit more simple, but I just had fun with this one. This is one of the few that is not a skin tone, so I didn't use Copic markers, but this is Melissa Moondust. She's 27 Melissa years old. She lives on planet Melissa, and she's the queen of planet Melissa. So she was very interesting, and she looked more alien to me than some of the other girls. So I did make her like a blue alien, and I just used monochromatic blue colors throughout the whole thing. She's got some glitter going on there in her hair, and what I'm gonna assume is maybe like a crown or a tiara. And then some more glitter is going on some of her jewelry. I don't know if it's really showing up, but like here and here, she's got on quite a bit of jewelry and it's all glittery. And I used some white highlights there on her lips. This is my favorite page. I don't know why. I think this girl just turned out fabulous. This is Toni Taurus. She's 23. She works at a casino and she is celebrated as a space go-go dancer. She just turned out fantastic. Now, I could have colored the rest of her body in here, but it didn't have a set end point. You know, it kind of just goes off the page, and that never looks good to me. So I ended it here where these gold chains that are coming off of her were. But yeah, this one is just my favorite one. I don't know why. I used warm tones and she just turned out fabulous. She really did. I love how her lips turned out. I love how these freaky glasses she's wearing turned out. Her hair, these gold chains that she was wearing. There's just something about this one that I really, really love. Next we have Betty Blastoff. She is 35, she lives in the shopping district, and she owns a clothing store at the Space Mall, which I'm going to assume is in the shopping district. She's another one kind of wearing the big fur coat collar, and she has gloves. She was very, like, fancy 1950s, 1960s to me. I've gave her, it's not silver hair, it's more of a light purple color, but it is kind of showing up gray on camera. This fantastic slime that her lips turn into that is blue, and then her wonderful orange goggles there, and her little antenna, which are glittery. This was the last page I colored, Sandra Solar-Storm. She's 21, she's at a party near you, and she's studying accounting. I did her hair in 2 colors. It fades into this light blue color. And her glasses have been done with Posca paint. They're kind of like these cool crystal glasses. And she does have a ton of glitter. She's kind of got like these little stickers on her face there, and I did those glittery. And then same with the star down there and her earring. And she does have like some earbuds in, listening to music. I like how she turned out. This is Vivian Void. She's 21, looking for trouble, and is a famous criminal. This one didn't really inspire me color-wise. I just kind of went with like a fall color scheme, because I can remember coloring this page in the fall a couple of years ago, and so I just did a fall color scheme. But I think she turned out really funky and cool looking, especially her glasses there. And I did do the lines on her face. They are done with orange because she's done in so many oranges and yellow colors. Next up we have Susie Squirrel. She's 3 squirrel years old. She lives in a tree and both of her parents are squirrels. So she's like a human, but she's like living a simulation as a squirrel. Very interesting looking. Lots of highlights, and the squirrel's whiskers are also done in white. Highlights on her lips and the squirrel's eyes. I don't know, I made her the same skin tone as the squirrel because it's almost to me like she's morphing into a squirrel. Like her face shape is starting to change and her teeth are turning into like buck teeth like a squirrel has. So I made her the same tone as the squirrel because yeah, I think she's like turning into a squirrel. This is a very bright one. This is Selena Star. She's 22, lives on the North Star, and is a star princess. She, again, looked like a pop star to me, something kind of crazy like that. So I used a lot of very bright colors. That goo around her face is done with purple, and there's some Posca paint outlining it. Lots of glitter, her eyes, and then some of that on her head there, and then around these stars on the necklace she's wearing. Yeah, she was very interesting. This is Sharon Sugar. She's 29, lives on the ice cream planet, and has a lot of dogs. We could get along then because I love dogs. But I also love how this page turned out. Probably my second favorite page. She's wearing these goggles that have icing on them. They're like huge cupcakes. This is what I made them. She's got on her tongue, it looks like icing also. Like it's slimy. Oh, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird character design, but I just love it. So yes, I did do her with like this kind of ice cream cupcake strawberry vibe, and she's got on a little bit of glittery jewelry there. But I love how this one turned out. And then the sprinkles on the cupcakes are also glittery. This is Cindy Circuit. She's 24 computer years old because she is a computer. Don't look into her eyes. She does have very creepy looking eyes there. She's a light green color since she is a computer. And again, I've said before, for whatever reason, when I think of the internet, it's green to me. Don't ask me why, it just is. But she has the wonderful green cyberkinetic lines there. This was a very simple, like flat one. I guess maybe because she's a computer, she doesn't have as many human looking features, so she's super flat. But yeah, that was a fun one. Then we have this girl here, Ella Eclipse. She is 100. She is living on the moon, and she loves asteroids, I believe is what that said. It is colored over a little bit from the other page. Yeah, it's gotta say she loves asteroids. Another very interesting green girl. I did her eyes this solid green color, and I think it turned out really well, and I love the braids that she's wearing here. She was very like Matrix to me, and she's also, I don't know, she's made out of goo down here. Like she's just a head that turns into goo, but I like how that turned out. Yeah, very Matrix to me, and I did a lot of green. And this time the cyberkinetic lines are actually done with paint that's not glittery. It's just matte paint rather than being the glittery ones. I think this is before I started doing them glittery. I think this is the first one I colored that kind of had these going on. So next we have Sammy Cyborg. She's 112 computer years old. Oh boy, this one's colored over too. Oh, she's hiding in an ancient space library, and she loves to read. That's probably why she's hiding in the library. Did this color scheme here. It's a little bit Grateful Dead, isn't it? But that's not really what I was thinking of. I was just thinking she's a robot, and I wanted to do her in red and blue. But I do like how it turned out. She's got Of course, the glitter going on down there on her neck, and this little paperclip necklace that she's wearing. Maybe she made that in the library. And then lots of highlights on her creepy, funky little eye here, and maybe this is an earmuff, or maybe it's a transmitter and she's listening to other people. Not sure, but that was a fun one. This is Debbie Download. She's 18, she lives on Jupiter, and she enjoys every sport. This was a very fun one to do. This was a more recent one too. She was just a very interesting looking girl. I did a lot of Posca paint here over these crystals that are like coming out of her eye, and she's got this, again, I don't know if it's goggles or maybe it's like a VR headset or a telescope. She's got that over one eye, crystals over the other. She's got this like goo running down her face that's green. She's got these big gauges in her ears that are done in glitter. Same with this little necklace down here, it's done in glitter. And so are her braces. She's got some highlights on them too. So I guess even in the space future, we still have to use braces. We haven't figured out how to fix that. And then this is my third and favorite page, and the final page. This is Beanie Girl. That's simply her name. She's 23, she lives on the edge of the solar system, and she's a champion surfer. And I love her weird giant alien beanie that is camo with these big, huge, like, eyes coming off of it that are kind of goggles, and the little horns, and she's got that camo color down on her skin there too. She's got just a little bit of glitter on that heart right there that's on her face. And I gave her purple hair because, again, I love the purple and green color scheme. This is one of the first pages I colored in this book, I believe. And I just love how this one turned out. Loved her huge, giant alien beanie. So weird and interesting. And then here at the back, she does tell you which books she has out. She's got Sci-Fi Babes, Monster Babes, Fantasy Babes, and Princess Babes. And I think that I'm gonna do Princess Babes next, and then there's just some blank pages at the back here. This has been one of my favorite books to color in, just because I love the weirdness of all the girls in it, and I like doing the weird, funky portraits in whatever color I want to. Thank you guys so much for watching this finished book.